Today's talk is about the concept of TKA, the new concept of personalized alignment total near aspirity, including kinematic alignment and functional alignments. So it's around half century from the start of the total near aspirity. In this history, the aim, the purpose, the goal is considered to be the neutral mechanical alignment, the straight leg and perpendicular component placement and balance here. But now, this concept is completely changing. So this is a new age of total near aspirity. So we need to understand what is going on. Anyway, let's start. So maybe you already know what is the requirement or the goal of total near aspirity. The first is stability, to establish stable knee, and in the same time, so mobility, in other words, flexion and extension should be required, and pain-free, of course. Of course, the main purpose of total knee aspirity is relief pain. So otherwise, the patient with very, very severe osteoarthritis, but the patient no pain. The patient does not require total knee aspirity. So durability. So in a long time, we are aiming to this goal, for this goals. So seeking a better technique, better instruments, and better component, and better materials. So this is the evolution and evolution. As a result, in the most national registry, in the most European countries such as UK, Sweden, Denmark, and many country has a national registration system. But in Japan, this registration system has just started, but only the registration. There is no long-term results. It is surprising data. So in the most national register data shows that 10 years revision rate is around 5%. In other words, 10 years survival rate is accounted for 95%. Maybe it is confirmed, already confirmed. We have reached the almost perfect result. So this 5% includes the infection and loosening. Previously, other causes of revision, such as malalignment and unbalanced knee, in other words, a very, very unstable knee, and wear of polyethylene. The cause of these for revision is dramatically reduced due to the improvement of material such as cross-link polyethylene and sophisticated operation procedure and modern design of implant. So this trend is stabilized after 2000. So last 20 years, we have already reached the goals, but we need to improve these results. Yes, this is the cause of revision is the previous one and the current one. And currently, the two main causes of revision is loosening and infection. But other causes, such as instability cause such as MCL, iatrogenic MCL damage, intraoperatively, and polyethylene wear. This is directly affected by the improvement of the polyethylene material, high cross-linked, high molecular polyethylene, and now vitamin E installed polyethylene, and malalignment and malfunctioning extensor mechanism deficiencies that cause patellar tendon rupture or patellar fracture intraoperatively. That must be the technical error. So as a result, the survival rate come to around 95% in 10 years, and 20 years around 90% to 80% maybe. But in terms of satisfaction, it is not perfect because now the 20%, the one in five patients is not satisfied for their results, and 5% don't want to have the TK again. Maybe because of the pain and the swelling, the operation stress, and in the same time, the result is not satisfied for the patient, most patients, such as the residual, yes. Around more than half patients have the residual pain. So residual symptoms such as pain, sound, discomfort, instability, or stopped knee. So, because of this residual symptom and high operation stress, 1 in 4 patients don't want to have the TK in the same operation again. So what do we need more to improve this satisfaction? Improve the accuracy using the navigation robot and the PSI. Okay. And improve the components. So as you know, we use Persona. Persona have the asymmetrical. Medial shape and lateral shape is not same. And interval is only the 2 millimeter in most of components. In the previously, the interval of femur component is 3 millimeter or 4 millimeter, especially in the large size. But now, the most component have the 2 millimeter inclination in terms of the femur size and the tibia size as well. And thickness on polyethylene is previously on the 2 millimeter. That on the 10 millimeter, the next one is 12 millimeter and 40 millimeter. But now we can use those 10, 11, 12, 30, 40, 50, 1 millimeter inclination. And material is improved, also called the crossing. Maybe do you know what is the crossing? Have you joined the spinal surgery with Dr. Okamoto? Dr. Okamoto used the crossing. Yes. To join, basically for the ethylene is the fiber, only the string. To strings the polyethylene to join. Yes, with the string and string with the transverse bar. This is all I already explained later. Anyway, it's cross-link and vitamin E improve the durability and strength of the polyethylene. But, however, these ideas, the improvement of these ideas is very, very small, limited. So, because we need to change our mind or thinking or goals. Basically, what are the aim of the total GI perspective? What is our goal to perform the TKA to proper alignment. So we must imagine that proper alignment should be the non-neutral, straight leg, straight leg. If after the operation, the patient has a slightly varus or valgus, so this operation is not good, not proper. So, so many surgeon is aiming for the very, very straight legs. In other words, HKA angle is 0 degrees. And proper gap and the ligament balance, especially for the gapper. So-called gapper means that a surgeon, he do the gap balancing technique. They have the priority for the gap balancing. So proper gap or proper kinematics. But what is proper? By now, so around half century from the beginning of the total knee, the goal is very, very simple because leg should be straight and gap should be parallel in the same in between the extension, the flexion. Then we can get the good stability and the good result. But we should reconsider what is the proper. So we are aiming to the single goal, only the one goal, so-called straight balance gap and perpendicular placement of component. But is that the really good the goal? So this is a so-called mechanical alignment. So that is the current goal of total knee aspirate. After the operation, leg should be straight, so-called neutral leg alignment. HKA should be 0 degrees. And component should be the perpendicular to the mechanical axis, so-called mechanical component placement. So why the mechanical? Because the perpendicular placement should be the mechanically stable. If the placement is inclined medially and laterally, that can cause unbalanced loading on the component. So major surgeon believes that perpendicular placement to the mechanical alignment is most stable. So mechanically stable. So we call this placement is mechanical and gap balance. So ideally, flexion and extension gap should be the parallel, or in other words, rectangular gap. In contrast, if the cutting plane is not parallel, we call it trapezoid gap. But in the long time, we have believed that gap should be parallel. So in the extension and the flexion, the cutting plane should be always parallel between the femur side and the tibia side. Okay. So this is the goal. So very simple. So in other words, we aim to the single goal. In other words, one size fits all approach. なんていうかね、もう一律同じっていう感じだね。And or systematic approach. Systematically, we aimed for this goal. So this is the current goal of the total knee arthroplasty. But needs kinematic is very, very complex. Of course, knee can bend. In other words, extension and flexion mode. In the other words, the femur condyle slide anteriorly, posteriorly, so-called gliding and rolling back. In the same time, so rotational relationship it can be changed during the knee extension and flexion, so-called medial pivot motion or screw hole movement in the terminal extension. So knee kinematics is very, very complex, and this situation is completely different among the patients. So some patients is a medial probe motion is not so much, but many some patients have the too much medial pivot motion. In some patients, maybe the lateral pivot motion. So we need to consider the difference between the patients. Okay, anyway, it's time, so I will continue my talk tomorrow. Thank you for joining. Please join tomorrow. See you. Bye bye. はい。ということで、